Hey, hello. Good evening, everyone. Let me get a few announcements out there. And then I'll get started. Okay. Sorry, I'm in the process of trying to scarf down a bunch of food. I was eating right before stream, so. Okay. Hold on just 1 second. Okay. I'm back. All right, so what am I doing here? So I did get a chance to work on this just a bit since last stream. So what I was focusing on was mainly all the surface detail, like the little wrinkles and stuff going on all over here. I still probably need to do more of that, but it's definitely much more covered up than last time. There's a lot more going on the skin. I made a few different brushes too that I'm fairly happy with to help me out with this, and hopefully I'll use them more in the future. But I can show you that really quick. They're pretty. They might need a little bit of adjustment, but they're pretty cool, I feel like. Like this one I made to help me out with this sort of detail that you see going on here, these like fine wrinkles. So if I use it really quick, let's try and find a blank spot to demo this on. And try about right here. Oh, it has layers. I need to put it in recording mode. So if they're kind of subtle, this one especially is subtle. If I drag this out, you can see it starts to make that sort of, let me find a better spot. That spot might be a little low res. And see that? So it's a tiling alpha. It looks somewhat like this. And it's basically tiling as I drag. So that's been pretty useful. And then there's a couple of other variations that I did on the similar brush. This one's pretty fun. This one's kind of, it was like an accident. I didn't realize what I was doing, and I kind of made this wrinkle brush. It's pretty cool. It's got these deeper, sort of more exaggerated wrinkles that I can drag across here. And if you blend them out just a little bit, they feel a lot better. How many polygons does this model have? Right now it's about, if I show everything, think it's 15 million. That's what this up here saying. But the thing about it is, I'm considering this more just a concept mesh right now, because I need to retopo it. So I'll probably have to come back in here and do a pass of additional detail. I mean, the mesh, it's decent. It's just it's a Z sphere. I mean, it's a Z remesh. So it kind of sort of follows the forms, but in a lot of places it could be better. So I have to go through that and fix that up. But yeah, this brush was pretty fun. I feel like if I can dial it in more, I'll probably be using something like this a lot in the future. Because depending on how you organize these, it can look pretty cool. The deeper wrinkles. What else did I make? This one's pretty cool too. This one's more for like breaking up areas that are in like where two forms meet and are creating wrinkles. These are like more like crisscrossed wrinkles where two wrinkle kind of trackways, I guess if you think about it. That's where they would be meeting and kind of crossing over each other. So that's pretty fun. And then what else did I do? This bumpy one is pretty nice. It's got very subtle. I could probably make him even more subtle. I'd probably do a variation, but this is like for just little tiny bumps on the surface. So yeah, I learned how to make these brushes yesterday and I kind of went a little crazy. I sculpt in Blender, but I might try ZBrush. Yeah, I would recommend ZBrush still, especially if you're doing like super crazy high poly stuff. Blender is getting a lot better. I'm actually really interested in sculpting more in Blender. I just haven't gotten around to it. Blender is appealing because it can just do so much in one package, right? Like I can be sculpting, I can rig it at the same time, I can light it, I can do renders while I'm sculpting. Like there's so much you can do in there. Whereas ZBrush is much more like you can do renders and stuff like that, but the retopology tools, the posing and stuff is kind of clunky. Like it definitely shines more when you're sculpting. So that's mainly what I use it for. Skiz Boots. Hi everyone. Hello. What are you up to this evening, Skiz Boots? What's my favorite thing about sculpting in Blender? Sorry, I shouldn't talk while I'm eating. My favorite thing about sculpting in Blender, I haven't done a lot of it. What is my favorite thing about sculpting in Blender? I think like I was saying, just being able to like if I wanted to drop out of sculpting in Blender and I could set up some lights, right? And then I could do a quick render, like a progress render. I mean, you can do that here, I guess, but I mean, ZBrush isn't using real light sources, so you're getting like kind of, it's decent enough. But if you wanted a really nice render using real lights and like materials and stuff, I think that is really appealing. And then I've seen people who they're sculpting, like they have a base mesh that's probably much nicer than mine, topology wise, but they're like sculpting and they already have their mesh rigged, and they can like test poses and stuff while they're sculpting. That sounds really fun because that's something that I think would be really helpful, especially with a guy like this. There's sometimes when I'm sculpting, it's nice to see how something would move. Like for me with this guy, I would really want to experiment with how these fins move, like how far forward do they go, how far back do they go, up and down. And then depending on what that's telling me, I could kind of predict more or less like where some of these features are going. Like if I bent this fin upward, where would those wrinkles, start? I feel like I could get a more an idea of that more easily, and then I could just like start sculpting it in. I feel like no matter what, I'd probably have to come back to ZBrush at some point, because I think that Blender would get bogged down by details eventually. But it would be fun to just maybe start a mesh in Blender and then kind of do like a basic pass of detail and then pass it on to ZBrush when it's ready. Do I know a good ZBrush beginner tutorial? I gave my friend pirated version of ZBrush. A lot of the tutorials that I used when I was learning ZBrush are kind of not around anymore. I would look at Michael Pavlovich. He's got a lot of really good. He should have a beginner's Blender, beginner's ZBrush thing. Somewhere in his channel. He's a really good source for a lot of information. Like he knows a ton about ZBrush. He knows like 5 different ways of doing it, anything. But that would probably be a good start. I mean, these days you can find good beginner Blender tutorials a lot of places. Like you can probably check like Flip Normals, see if they have anything. Who else would be good? Hard to say. I'm kind of drawing a blank right now, but I would start with Michael Pavlovich and see where you get, or see where your friend gets. You do have models that Blender just can't handle. Eventually you got to bring your model into ZBrush. Yeah, I think it's getting better. There was someone I was talking to who was making a T-Rex model, and they were pushing their poly count pretty high. What are 5 of my favorite monster designs from film or games? From film or games, monster designs. Godzilla. I have to put Godzilla. Specifically, Shin Godzilla is probably my favorite of the Godzillas. Is that person named Opal by chance? No. This would be Matt Dempsey. He's building a T-Rex in Blender right now. You can see it a lot on his Twitter Blue Sky. I think he's doing all of that in Blender. Yeah, Shin Godzilla. I mean, I'd have to put some kind of Jurassic Park dino in there. It's hard to pick one. Or maybe something from Kong. That's a really hard question. something from Monster Hunter has to be in there too. Glavenus from Monster Hunter. Who else? I mean, Rexy is like iconic, of course. But I'd probably go for maybe the Dilophosaurus from Jurassic Park. That leaves me with 2 more, right? What else? Probably the Ikran from Avatar. That design is super cool. What about no. What about Rick McRoro? No, not him. I mean, I like Taruk, but not as much as I like the Banshee. I was gonna say Legiana, but I don't want to make you mad. Maybe something from like... Oh, Del Toro has a lot of good ones though. Maybe like Pan from Pan's Labyrinth, or the like creepy hand guy. I don't know, there's a lot. Dude, Legiana is like Monster Hunter's answer to Avatar, I think. That's why I like it so much. Then in that game where you Monster Hunter Stories 3, I gotta have a Legiana friend. References for this guy. Plesiosaur Lots of plesiosaur. Sharks for like the shapes of the fins. Sharks and ichthyosaurs. Sturgeons. I'm pulling some sturgeon in on here, like these like ridges and stuff. Got some sturgeon. Leatherback sea turtle for these like ridges on the sides here. Lots of different kinds of fish for these mouth parts. A little bit of Dilophosaurus going on up here. What else is in here? A bit jets. So like when I was researching stuff for this guy like way back, like over 10 years ago now, I think I read somewhere, it must have been like Neville Page talking about it. He was saying that he was referencing aircraft and like because Neville Page, I think he's an art center guy, and those guys generally have a good foundation in product design. Neville Page and Scott Robertson, I think both have done like car concepts and stuff for various things. But yeah, I was referencing some jets. So that's why like if you look at this area, these two fins here are pulled from I don't know what kind of jet it is, but it's basically the wing and the tail fin orientations from fighter jets. You can kind of see it on the top view, like this. These are these wing shapes and this orientation here. Even the like intake here, they became the nostrils, but this idea came from fighter jets as well. I think that's, there's a lot of other little subtle stuff going on in here, but those are the main ones. Jets, fighter jets. How long have I been working on him? Hard to say. It's been, worked on him quite a bit when I was initially working on him for that CG Hub thing. But in the past, since I started stream, probably 10 additional hours on top of that. It's probably like, I don't know, 60 to 80 hours at this point. I can't remember. Maybe on the lower end of that, because I don't know. I started him for that contest, but I didn't get very far. Like, he was still in pretty heavy concept stage. And I like pulled them out of storage, you know, every now and then, and like doodled on him, but nothing too crazy. So today I worked on a little bit. Like I've also worked on them off stream, just here and there. Not a ton, but a few hours. Today during lunchtime, I was working on this area. Like I'm still, I don't know. I'm going back and forth about this area. It's like, I know I want some sort of armor thing here, some sort of breakup in these shapes. I think I like what I have now better than what I had before. But I'm still kind of, like, I like this shape here. This flow is much better because before I had it here, I have this on a layer. Before I had it like this, which I don't know. I think it's fine. It's very Monster Hunter-y, I feel like. It's like very repeated, and I think it's too much repetition. It doesn't really quite fit into what the other animals on Pandora have either. Like I said, it's a little too Monster Hunter-y for me. So I did this, and I think this has a nicer breakup. Like it's got this bigger like shoulder portion here, and then these like breakups. Better flow, I think, but I'm still kind of iffy on it. What did he look like before I got back to him? He looked like still an old version of him. He looked like uh-oh, now I'm gonna get confused. I'll just open up my blog spot thingy. Let me see. This is what he looked like. This is my old blogspot post. Oh, I can't. Can I go? Oh, there they are. So he had a lot. His head was much bigger. The fin shapes were not as strong as I think they are now. Like they got this like very sharp crescent shape, which I really don't like now that I look back at this. I really didn't like this tail shape here. I got rid of some of the stuff going on down here, like these like clasper things. I was pulling from sharks. This like tail. I have this here still in a way, but it's a lot less fragile looking. And then I got rid of this secondary, I don't know what even this would be, like a fin. And then this display structure here I got rid of. And then I made some adjustments to the body plan to make it a little less, just more neutral. Because I felt like this is way before I knew anything about rigging and like how you should probably like not put this much bending in something before you rig it up. So I wanted to make the pose a lot more neutral. So that's why he's got his fins down here now. Okay, there we go. I got a little. So I have his head separate from the rest of his body because I had to chop it off to resize it and resculpt parts. So that's why I'm gonna have to merge them at some point, which I'm not super looking forward to. That's probably a Blender job. Probably take it into Blender and just merge, like weld some verts together, and then reproject. Have I sculpted Legiana? No. I feel like Legiana would be, she's like too recent of a monster to sculpt. If it was like, if Legiana was like a much older monster, like in the first or second generation of monsters, then maybe. Will I sculpt Legiana? Maybe like a skull, like the skull of Legiana. Because I did start. I have a skull of a Tigrex that I started that I'm probably gonna finish up on stream as well at some point. Because I'd really like to. Oh my! If we get 100 subs, yeah, a sub celebration. My camera's off. I forgot to put my camera back on. There's my camera. But now I can show you. So I want to, the way when I was doing the Tigrex skull, I want it to scale up. I want it to be to scale with this guy. It's one of the my Glavinus Hunter from Rival Tech. So I'm taking this guy's scale and using that to figure out what the skull scale should be. And it turns out it's roughly about this size. The size of this V-Rex skull. So this is kind of like what I want from the Tigrex skull. I'll 3D print him and then probably make some cool stand if I can. And paint him up. I'd like to have this, the jaw on the V-Rex doesn't move. But I'd like my Tigrex skull to have a movable jaw. So I'm thinking maybe some kind of magnets or something there. I have to figure that out. But we'll probably do that on stream at some point. It's gonna be one of the faster things to get done because the Tigrex skull is almost done. It just needs like a few things here and there, like some detail, a little bit of engineering to figure out how to get the jaw to work. But I wouldn't mind doing a Legiana skull. That would be fun. An Anjanath skull would be fun too. Cisco, hey. Stormfire, how's it going? Welcome back. Yeah, I got a bit of scales going on here. I changed my, I changed the pattern. I'm still kind of adjusting that, but I changed the pattern up. I think I like this more. I'm still kind of thinking about it. But it's a little bit more along the lines of what I wanted, I think. In terms of like how it flows. I'm also playing with some other scales like up here. I don't know if I like these as much. We'll see how that is, how that goes. I was also playing with possibility of having some down here as well. Like some protection on the belly. But I also don't know how I feel about that. Oh, you put the stream on for Grandpa. That's my my little brother in the chat, by the way. How's your week been, Storm? I haven't checked in with everybody. How has everyone's week been? Oh no, I meant since last week. Since last week. We don't talk about this week. I may have had to quit my job. Oh no. Well, I hope it's not too rough on you, you know? I mean, but sometimes you gotta do that. Sometimes you gotta move on to bigger, better things. There's like this crease in this fin that I don't like. Just too much to handle. I see, I see. I had a boss one time tell me not to sleep, so I got up on out of there. Bigger and better things. Hey, Grandpa, how you doing? I'm hoping to maybe move on to art job. I did. Well, good luck on the job hunt for sure. What kind of work are you looking to do, Storm? Character design, creature design. Okay, so you're kind of like a generalist. I can do some graphic design, but not 100%. I'm kind of the same way. Graphic design is not my strong suit for sure. I mean, there's times when I have to do it, but if I had the choice, would not want to do that. Autosave. Animation and character concepts are your favorite. Turn what junk off? You don't like lo-fi Dark Souls? Oh, you're talking about the autosave? I thought you were talking about the music. I can't. It saved my life a couple times. I turned it. Let's see. What are my settings? Quick save. It does it every 10. I can maybe. No, I don't know. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yeah, autosave isn't fun. It does like, it can really disrupt workflow, especially when you get a really big file and it takes like, I don't know, 5 minutes to save or something. That is no fun. But autosave has saved my life a couple times. More than a couple times, probably. Especially like, so I've done a lot of like print prep for stuff. That really, all the processes that happen when you're prepping something for print are so like, they're very process or what, memory intensive, I guess you would call it. And your computer, well, my computer likes to crash a lot. The decimation, projection, booleans, all of those processes are rough. Saved your life, killed my family. It's never saved your life before. Yeah, but what if you forget one time? That's the thing, is sometimes you can forget. I somehow ran Arc ASA with high graphics and like 20 plus mods on my comp and didn't crash. Arc, what is Arc ASA? Arc I'm trying to figure out the acronym. I know ARC, but I don't know what ASA means. It does pull you out of the zone for sure. Oh, so ascended? Okay. Yeah, I never gave ARC a chance, really. Why not? Because I'm a dino snob. I don't know. I just don't like. I don't really like the aesthetic of the dinosaurs, like the models in there, too much. They are not. They are not for me. I mean, I like the fact that there's dinosaurs in it. Like I think anything that like helps people get into dinosaurs or like enjoy them is cool, because there's a lot of dinosaurs and like other prehistoric animals in ARC that I feel like became popular or people learned about because of ARC. Like they have some pretty obscure species in there, and they have a lot of them too. Like if you look at the list of species they have in ARC, it's pretty crazy. So I like that aspect of it, but it's just like from an purely like aesthetic standpoint. Like aesthetics drive a lot of like, I feel like they drive a lot of interest, at least for me, because I'm always like, especially in a game like that where you're like unlocking new recipes and new equipment and new like mounts. I'm always like excited to see what the next thing is, and like depending on how cool it looks is like basically how motivated I am to try to get it. That's why Monster Hunter is such like an addiction for me, is because I don't know, everything in there just, or most things in there just look so cool. So I want everything. I want all the armor. I want to see the next monster. But I don't think I would feel that way with ARC, really. It might be fun to play with friends. Like, I mean, there's also mods too, so there's that. But yeah. Yeah, that's why you have mods, yeah. Yeah, they have some crazy ones in there. And then they have like dragons and like all that stuff's really cool. It's just I would want I don't know. Maybe I can make a mod. Maybe one day I'll make a mod for something in there. I don't want to kill my animals. I want to tame them. Yeah. I mean, that's I tried to get my wife to play Monster Hunter and she felt really bad killing all the animals. But I mean, some of them are bad. Some of them are just bad. So I'm thinking these plates. I'm just trying to think of like the material because I don't think they're the way it looks to me on some of the other not dinosaurs, the other creatures that I have reference of is they're like plates, but they're not like super hard like dermal plates. It's not like very hard keratin like a shell. I feel like they're more like soft, like almost like a soft shell turtle or something like that. Like they have some like give to them, like maybe like just like thicker leather, I guess. Is the like so it's like armored but not like super armored. Has some give to it. At least that's what I'm going to try to go for. This is my favorite monster to kill in Monhun. My favorite monster to fight. Anything that I can. So in Monster Hunter Wilds, it's probably Raydao or Arkveld. Especially if I'm using like a bow, because the perfect dodges just feel really cool against those guys. Raydao, I found that like anything with blades in Monster Hunter feels really cool to fight. Like Lavinus, Raydao, Velkhana to some degree, because they do like those really like sweeping moves or like stabs, and then you can dodge out of the way. It feels really cool when you time everything right. You're just like getting missed by by inches. That's I feel like that's probably the appeal of it to me. But yeah, Ray Dow is probably my favorite monster to fight in Wilds so far. I think my least favorite monsters to fight would be like, I've always had a hard time with Diablos. Playing an insect glaive against Diablos is pretty hard. Who else? I mean, there's some monsters that I don't like to fight just because there's like nothing I can get out of them. Like I really don't like fighting Basarios or is it Basarios that's in Wilds? Or Gravios? Gravios, Basarios, those two. I don't really like their armor. I didn't like Uragan. The other one, what's his name? I'm totally blanking. It's Uragan, but he's got bones on him. I know more about planes to answer my question. I'm trying. Yeah, those big like if I don't like the armor, I'm really not motivated to fight the things, but you have to progress sometimes, so big chunky armor is not my fave. All right, let's see. What do I need to do here? I think he's getting pretty... I still need to do some details. I still have lots to do on the head, I feel like. But he's getting there. Soon I think I will need to start thinking about color. Need to figure out color for this guy soon. I don't think I want... I think I'm fine without it having like these belly plates. I don't think I like those. I feel like we'll have plates up here in the front. And then maybe a bit on here. We'll call it good for plates. Gotta finish all of these little ridges or whatever they are here, serrations. These things, they have a term for them. I keep on forgetting what they are though. I have to look at that paper again. If I turn this, I want to see the silhouette here. But this material doesn't like that. This music is from Final Fantasy VII. I think so. Yeah, this is from the Golden Saucer in 7. You got it wrong. I tried to find some I was trying to find a lot of different video game music, putting it into a playlist. I don't got Vagrant Story. They didn't have Vagrant Story. I was looking for some Legend of Dragoon. They didn't have that either. It's my fave. It's my fave. Ludicator. Where do you get your ideas from? I mean, all over the place, really. Like, a lot of it recently has come from just stuff that I just stuff that I'm a fan of. Like in my free time, I like doing stuff like redesigns and things like that because it's a little bit what's it called? You already have like an idea to start from, but you can kind of elaborate or change things depending on what you're going for. So I like to kind of start from a basis of something, whether that's like a movie or like a video game, a TV show, something fun like that that I can really like that I'm a fan of. And usually something that's a little bit like kind of outdated or has been out of the limelight for a while, that could use it like a little bit of a I guess like a redo, you know. And then well, like stuff like this is it's this guy, of course, like I really like the Avatar films. So a prompt or like a what would you call it, like a brief like this where you're trying to come up with something that lives in that world is a lot of fun because you clearly have like an established world that you have to work from. You don't have to like make up everything from scratch, but you can like, you know, come up with a totally different idea or something inspired, something that feels like it should live there. That's what I've been enjoying lately. I mean, I do have ideas for like original stuff, like stuff that is like world building or just completely unique creature designs that are from my own worlds that I've thought up. But those kind of take a long time. I'm super nitpicky about those. Probably shouldn't be, because then they'll never get made if I keep doing that, but those take a while to develop. Like a lot of times when I'm doing stuff, especially after work and stuff, it's I'm just trying to like relax a little bit. I want to think, but I don't want to think that hard. So starting with something that already has a foundation is really fun. What's my favorite animal? Favorite animal? Would I say a Chihuahua? I mean, they are some of my favorite animals. I have 3 of them. Tifa. Here's one of them. She's up here because she wants She wants fries. I hope she doesn't bark now. She's a Chiweenie. Yeah, she's pretty cute. She's 2 years old now. We rescued her from a local foster person. She's actually from California. There she goes. She's gonna go off now. She had her and her sister, I think it was. They found her in a little cardboard box in like really hot weather. And then they brought her up here where she lived with the foster for a while. And then we adopted her. Oh, I got sidetracked. I was working on this stuff down here. I gotta focus in on this, or else I'm not gonna finish it. This is like one of those little areas that a little bit tedious. It's just because it's on the edge of this mesh here. Stuff like that is a little hard to grab onto with some of these brushes. And I'm thinking about how I'm going to get this detail onto the low poly too. Whether I should actually build it into the geometry, or if I should try to do it some other way. Because all these little serrations here, if I do it in the geometry just to make sure that they're readable in the silhouette, are going to be a pain. Okay, bye, Scott. See you later. Sculptures. Turn. Okay. Yeah, anyway, what I was saying about these details. Yeah, I have to consider what I'm gonna do with it. Because I do want them to read well. Maybe I could just do it with displacement. In like rendering. I guess I don't have to have them in the high poly if I can just displace them. But sometimes, I don't know, sometimes little points like this can get screwed up with displacement. Like the displacement doesn't really work the way I would like it to. So I feel like if you really want something to read the way you want it, you probably should include some sort of support for it in the geometry. I don't know. I have to figure that out. I'm also kind of considering like how far I want to take the whole project. So it would be nice to it'd be nice to get a good pose and a good render out of Blender with this. But that's gonna take it's probably gonna take a while to get there. I'll try and block these out as quickly as I can, just to get something there. It's pretty cool. I mean, I like the overall effect after it's all in there. It's just getting them all pulled out is the hard part. I keep on switching my colors here. Which matte cap gives me a good... There we go with the autosave again. Which one works? Maybe try oxide for a little bit. There we go. This one's kind of harsh, but might be good for now. Hey, everybody. I want some slight variation in here. Eventually, so I was looking a lot at shark fins. And I do want a lot of, when I get to like the asymmetry pass, the damage pass, I want to do some cool stuff with the fins. Like, what can I do just to kind of give you an idea? Like, this kind of happened on accident, that little nick in that fin there. Kind of like it. Need to make it more purposeful, but like once I have a chance, I want to come back in and do a lot of these little like cuts into the fin. Give it some personality. So we'll do that to all of the fins here in some way. I wonder, just thinking out loud again, I probably should make, I wish I had thought of this earlier. I probably should make a like a VDM or something to pull these out. It probably would have been much easier. I didn't think about that till now. I don't know if it would necessarily help me with this part though, because the thing about this is this little ridge that happens. See that little crease there? Because the mesh is, it's got some thickness to it, but the point that I'm pulling out is fairly small. It's causing that little crease there, and I have to come back up with a secondary pass and like blend it out, which is, it's not too big a deal. It is like a little, it's another step in the process that I could probably find a way to eliminate, make it easier on myself. How long do I stream today? I'm probably gonna try to go for another 30 minutes. Try to do 2 hours. Try to get some progress on this, because I won't be able to work on it probably for till like next week or the weekend. Okay, so I got that done. Mostly. There's a little bit of these little artifacts that I don't like still. I'm going to try that. I'm going to see if I can do, let me just make a VDM or something real quick. See if it helps me at all. Might not. So what I want is just like a little point. Slightly angled forward. It's off center though. Try and get it in the middle here. Okay. Another autosave. Okay. So I need chisel creature. And I need to from mesh. I hope that'll work. Come back to the mesh. We'll test it on test it on this fin here. Don't know if that's gonna help. You have to get it at a very specific angle. Yeah, so like it's basing the angle of the brush on the geometry that's underneath it, and the geometry that's underneath it is not like consistent. It's kind of facing every which way. I might be able to like even it out a little bit. What am I looking for? Because it needs like a nice flat spot to pull the geo from. Otherwise it's just going to go random directions. Problem is going to be kind of hard for me to flatten out this spot enough for it to be consistent enough for me to do that. Kind of working here. Do I like that though? I don't think I like that. I think the other way looks much better. Just doing it by hand looks much better. I think I'll have to do it that way. Sometimes that's just the way it kind of ends up. Like this takes a longer. Usually doing stuff by hand takes longer. I mean, but it also ends up looking much better, I think, than like something that's very repeated. So we'll just have to do it that way, I think. Okay. What time is it? Oh, it's Okay, so it's 7:45. You know, I might actually call it just a little bit early, like 15 minutes early. I think the doggo is going a little bit crazy. Should probably let her go outside. It's probably a good spot to stop for now. Yeah, pretty decent, I think. Just giving it a once over here. Yeah, still a lot more to go, but you're getting there slowly. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for being here with me tonight. I'll be on probably again next Monday, same time. I'm trying to keep these streams consistent. Same time, same day. And we'll see what we get up to then. Okay, thanks everyone. Bye.